Holly, and I did the Oxford program. The class I took is a poli-sci class. It was a human rights class and like human rights violations, and we just talked a lot about slavery in the UK and how that affected human rights at the time.
My name is Roshni. I did the criminology and socio-legal studies course in Oxford over the summer of August 2018. It was 4 weeks, just like Polly's. We were there at the same time. We had 3-day weekends. Class ran from Monday to Thursday, 9 a.m. to noon, and then weekend trips, everything you name it, going to a lot of restaurants, having a lot of fun. I mean, I guess we can both talk about this.
Yeah.
It's Oxford, so.
It's really small, which is I think one of the perks, because you get to really experience like the place and really get to know everybody in the program, which I think is really helpful. And you kind of get to have like a routine in a way, which I think is really nice, right?
The residence was beautiful. I loved having my own room and having my own bathroom. And there's these scouts who are actually Oxford students who would come in and like chat with us, tidy up a bit, and we were super friendly and welcoming. They had these really fancy dinners, like once when you started, and then one for the end, like matriculation, you completed your month at Oxford.
Did you go to high tea?
High tea, yeah, high tea in the area, and punting.
I didn't go to that.
Oh my god. It's like a little boat canoe ride, and like the guy who was doing it for us, he pretended to sing the opera while doing it. It was so much fun. The Tesco runs, like we used to go to this grocery store.
It's like 2 minutes away.
Tesco, yeah.
2 minutes away.
I love the field trips. Oh my god, and like my professor was one of the greatest professors I've ever had. Professor Watson, like God bless his soul, he taught me so much. My writing improved tremendously, and because of that one-on-one support, it was just such a great program, that little atmosphere. On my end, I really liked the layout of the course. We had 1 assignment, 2 tests, and then 1 pre-departure assignment. So it was super manageable. The professor made it super accessible so that he could have a little gauge of the students coming from these different backgrounds, because you didn't necessarily need a criminology background to take his course. He had field trips organized and guest lectures. One of them was his PhD supervisor from Cambridge, who did a lecture on wrongful convictions, and that was the most eye-opening lecture I've ever had. And then having it by a Cambridge professor at the same time was kind of mind-blowing.
Sleeping.
Oxford was like the good place for that, because you could rejuvenate and relax,
right,
and also have like a good mix of the city.
Right.
And then because it was so close to like traveling opportunities, I went on a trip to Paris with a few of my friends, and like first time there, having a picnic by the Eiffel Tower, I will never ever forget that experience.
I would say that you could be friends with anybody. Like I didn't know anybody before going, and I came up with so many friends and like so many people that like I keep in touch with, and I called some of my closest friends. So
I think it was like a great step of independence for me, because I always used to be the type of person who needed to be surrounded by people in order to feel like I have community around me. And when I was there, there's this one day I went to a restaurant just by myself, and I really enjoyed just being in my own company, and like, not to say that I don't like friends and like having people around, but I just really liked being content on my own and learning that it's okay to be on your own, but also having that balance of friends and community at the same time.
more structure.
Definitely.
And I think the biggest thing for me specifically is like you get to like see your friends when you come back home. Like I still hang out with my friends, like, you know, Roshni and like everybody else, and I feel like you don't really get that when you do it on your own.
Wait, what was the question? Oh, okay, so it was my first time like living away from home.
Oh.
Or like living out of the country of my own for so long, and I think it was really, really good to have like that intro if I ever want to go abroad for a year or anything like that.
One thing I would do differently is I wish I went to more trips. Like I wish I kind of went to a few different places, maybe like even to London or something.
I wish I met Polly earlier, because we actually met on the last night, and like we had such a great conversation. And I don't know, I wish I spent more time with other people on the trip. I did get to develop that really close bond with a few people, but I don't know, I feel like I was very like, I need to study a lot of the time, and I'm like, wait a second. I don't really need to study as much because the layout is meant to be accessible, and so you take advantage of the space and have fun while you're there.